Wikis are weird, aren't there? There is a wiki for everything, and I can't be the only person that's found themselves stuck down a wiki rabbit hole in the past. There's so many strange and obscure wikis out there, and today we're going to go and look at a few of them. If you haven't seen this channel before, my name is FoxAkimbo, and today I'm doing a deep dive into the unusual Wikis Iceberg, listing on the most strange and peculiar wikis with more common knowledge wikis at the top, and then as we go through, things are going to get more strange, more obscure, more bizarre, so really do keep on watching for that. Things are only going to get darker and more obscure as we go. With that out of the way, and without further ado, this is the unusual Wikis Iceberg explained. Up first today we have Wikipedia. It has to be the most famous wiki of them all. I mean, hands down it is. It's what everything came after. This is the number one. It's internet's encyclopedia after all. There's a lot of people that say, oh yeah, because you can edit it, it makes it unreliable, but to be honest, I've never ran into any trouble with using Wikipedia. I use it in all of my videos. I never ran into any trouble with it at school. It's just an amazing piece of technology. We really have lucked out with that. To be honest, I find Wikipedia is the backbone of information on the internet, and definitely the backbone of modern information sharing. I think that we're so much smarter today than we were a couple years ago because we have Wikipedia. We're just more aware of things, and if we're not, we can look them up and find a definitive answer within seconds. Everyone knows it, so let's get onto the stuff that not so many people do know. Wikipedia, nice little play on words there. This is the Star Wars wiki, and it gives us Star Wars fans anything you could or ever want to know about Star Wars, it will give you it. You've got the Skywalker saga, which details all of the movies. You can see anything, say Revenge of the Sith, all of this information on it. I mean, that is a load of information just for one movie, and there's what, 10 of them? You've got the standalone films, you know, all those. You've got the canon ones. You've got the live action shows. Disney Plus is popping off with those right now. You've got the animated shows as detailed here: Clone Wars, Rebels, Resistance, Bad Batch, Visions. You've got the Legends. You've got the board games, the card games, the miniature games, the role-playing games, the video games, and then obviously literature as well. There is so much Star Wars stuff. It's one of the biggest franchises of all time, and Wikipedia is one of the largest wikis. It has to be. I mean, there is just so much stuff here. There is so much stuff. It is unbelievable, but because this is probably the biggest fan wiki in the world, most people know of it, so let's get onto some more niche and unknown ideas. But before we do that, we have to go through all of the more common knowledge entries first. So we have the Simpsons Wiki first. You know, when a show's gone on for 30 years, it would have a massive wiki, and the Simpsons lives up to the expectation that it would. It's got characters, I mean, so many characters. Every episode these days has a new character, like celebrity guest star that's doing stuff. It's got locations, it's got the cast and crew, it's got the video game, it's got an episode guide. It had comics itself, it's got the movie. Simpsons is a massive property. Whether or not it's as good as it was 30 years ago, it's a massive property. Let's say randomly I want to go and just look at a random season 14, and then what about that one? Bang, instantly there, and look at all this. That is for one episode. One episode. And how many are there now? 700. It's got the number, it's got the air date, it's got the main characters, it's got the couch gag, it's got special guest voices, who wrote it, who directed it, and all of these little things. I mean, it's crazy. It's so expansive. But still, it's very common knowledge. If you like The Simpsons, you've probably ran into the Simpsons wiki before, so let's move on to the next entry. GTA is one of the, if not the biggest game franchise in the world, and of course, they would also have a massive wiki. I mean, just look at all this stuff. This is the homepage, but then you look into the games and you can kind of see, you know, you've got all of those. Let's click on GTA 5, for example, and it's got all of this stuff here. You know, when did it release? When did the remakes release? The languages, the protagonists, the locations, the years. It's got all of this. I mean, 21 different footnotes there. You can sort things by vehicles, you can sort things by guns, you can sort things by characters. I mean, there is so much to do. You wouldn't be able to explore this all within like weeks. It would take a year to go through all of this stuff. Like, let's look at all the vehicles in GTA 5, for example, right? This is all of the sports cars in GTA 5 alone, and there's got to be about 30 there, let alone the muscle cars, the supercars, the sports classics, the sedans, the SUVs, the compacts, the coupes, the motorcycles, the off-roads, the cycles, the vans, the utilities, the industrials, the service, the commercial, the military, the emergency, the boats, the planes, the helicopters. And I bet you if I click on a single one, say this one, it has all of this on it. There is so much here. It tells you how much every single individual thing costs. It takes the most minuscule details and it will blow it up. This is one car and there's about 1,000 in the game. Not really unusual though, so we have to keep on going down before we start finding the niche stuff. I'm just going to put these two together. You got the Marvel and the DC. So here it's going to go through all of your classic heroes, all of the classic villains. Let's click on random characters, see who we get. Carlos. Like, Carlos was a sanitation truck driver who used to collect trash from Avengers Mansion. Carlos in Avengers 183. Oh, he's also part of a Hispanic gang. He's an acquaintance of Juanito Juarez in Albuquerque. But it's also got all of the comics. You could probably read just about any comic or find out the synopsis of any comic. Let's go for 1954. I mean, it's got all of this from 1954. It's amazing how much time and effort would have been put into this. I mean, this is literally from 1954 and you can see all of these. What about Men's Adventures 126? It doesn't seem so. Other characters, Ben. It has a synopsis of a comic that came out 60 years ago. The same thing is going to apply to the DC one. Birds of a feather. They're kind of the exact same, two sides of the same coin, Marvel and DC. But it's just interesting to see how compact and how well done this is. There is so much stuff here. It is unbelievable. Again though, Marvel DC, top of the ball game in terms of superheroes. Everyone knows Marvel and DC. So let's move on. And lastly for this tier we have Wikitubia, which is like just a, sucky YouTube wiki. It details all of the crappy YouTubers that are like on it, like I'm not on it, but that's whatever, I don't want to be on it anyway because it's like so sucky in that. But I was going to ask, what do you, because I have a few friends that want to be on this site, what hypothetically would you have to do to get on Wikitubia? Because it's like, it's 25,000 subscribers. Is that enough to get on there? Like, again, like not that I would want to get on there, but I have a bunch of friends with 25,000 subs that would want to get on there. Do I just have to start some drama? Or would a rap career kind of be a bit of a better, would they have to start some drama or would a rap career be better? We're going to move on. The next entry on this new tier is a Wiki of Ice and Fire. And so this is the Song of Ice and Fire wiki. If you've read the books or you've seen the show, you know that there is so much lore to a Song of Ice and Fire. And this is just trying to, simplify things. So you've got the books, you've got the chapter summaries, you've got the characters, the houses, the history, the geography, the culture. I mean, there is so much here. What is there in culture? Foods and beverages. What about that? Honey cake, cream cake, jellies, cheese. How is there a thing for cheese? There's all of this just on cheese. Cheese in Game of Thrones. Who are these guys? All this on cheese. It's massive. Next up we have Bulbapedia, which is kind of a similar thing. It's just the Pokemon version. This is the Pokemon Wiki, and it's got, again, so much stuff. Did you guys know that Pokemon is the most profitable franchise of all time? It's made the most money because between the games, the merch, the TV show, and all of that, I'm sure there's also like manga as well. It has so much money-making capabilities. With each generation, they're able to sell another 2 games. With each generation, they're able to sell so much more merch. I mean, it's gargantuan how popular Pokemon was at one point, and still is, to be fair. It's definitely got a lot of staying power. It's very surface level, sure, but there is so much. What about Gold and Silver? Or like Heart Gold and Soul Silver? That was my favorite one growing up. Yeah, I mean, you can see like individual trainers. You can see all this kind of stuff on them. It's really incredible to see just how detailed all of this is. That's still very common knowledge though, so we're going to move on from there to the Doctor Who Wiki, and by now, I'm sure you guys have got the gist of it. A lot of pages, there's so much stuff to do, there's so many characters, there's this, that, and it's so detailed and stuff. So I'm sorry, Doctor Who, I just don't care enough to make a proper entry about you because it is the exact same as A Song of Ice and Fire and Bulbapedia. It's well detailed, but at the end of the day, this isn't an unusual wiki, just as the other ones aren't really, so I just want to get onto the more unusual stuff. We have one more pit stop before we get there though, and this is Brickopedia. This is the Lego wiki, which I guess kind of is a bit more obscure. I didn't know that Lego needed a wiki, but apparently it has one. It's even got Duplo, which is like Lego's rival, isn't it? It's got all of the different themes of Lego, like, you know, you got your friends, you got your superheroes, you've got your Star Wars, Super Mario Lego, Minecraft Lego. Don't know who this guy is, but he's minifigures brackets theme. I mean, I was never really playing with Lego when I was a kid. I never really cared for it, but that was just me. And yeah, I mean, this is definitely something. I don't know what, because again, I didn't play with Lego, but there is a Lego wiki out there for any Lego fans. And now we actually get to get on to the unusual stuff. So I'm really happy for that. Let's get into things. Let's move on to the first entry, which I would class as probably quite unusual, and that is Uncyclopedia. So if you don't know Uncyclopedia, this is meant to be a parody of Wikipedia, just with intentionally wrong information. So a lot of people think that because anyone can edit Wikipedia, that makes the information there automatically untrustworthy, but Uncyclopedia is kind of that. Things are not meant to be taken literally. This is just humor, this is satire, this is just meant to be a bit of fun. If you notice right there, it has the Wikipedia kind of globe, but it's changed it to the shape of a potato instead. And you can be told that this is meant to be taken as a joke, but some people don't think that. I'm sure a lot of people have wound up on Uncyclopedia accidentally, thinking it's Wikipedia, taking some information there and going, yeah, that's BS. What have we got? Feature today's article. The Reich thanks you for turning into the special broadcast of 1936 Nuremberg Rally. All the beer and sausages in Bavaria can't keep you from this great sport. Oh no. Oh no. Of course, we've got the president pardoning the turkey for Thanksgiving. I'm sure that's happening around this time of year. Patrick eats SpongeBob. UN news. What is this? I don't even know what this is meant to be, but yeah, I mean, there's so many articles here which are just fun to see. It's definitely unusual, and it is a wiki at the end of the day. It is a form of Wikipedia, I guess, or at least a parody of. What is that down there? What is that, Mona Lisa? Did you know that Alexander isn't really that great? I mean, it's just amazing. It's just it really does joke around and play. 1971, devout Christian Jim Morrison dies a virgin. I mean, there's so much stuff here. It really is a great little play around. I would recommend checking it out. Onto the third tier now. Things are finally getting niche. We have Logopedia up next, which you might be able to guess what it is just based on the title of the site. We do have more obscure things coming up later, but Logopedia in and of itself is quite weird. It's quite abstract. Why we need a wiki based on logos, I don't know. Say here we have the Latvian public TV broadcaster Latvijas Televizija, and you can kind of see how they've changed and simplified over time. Why is Wario there? I should have really done this with ad blocker on, but live and learn, I guess. So look, we have Latvia there, Latvia there, Latvia there, and you can kind of see how logos have transformed over time and minimalized. And I want to know your guys' opinion on that. What do you think of minimalism? Because it seems though these days that every single thing, look at that from before, and now it's just this. Now it's just Papa John's. Like, it used to be that logos had a bit more to them, they were more distinct, and now it's just writing. It's just writing. It's definitely not needed, but it is kind of cool to see how logos have changed over time. And I don't really know who would be using this very much apart from maybe graphic designers. But at the same time, it is a cool site, and it's definitely a bit weird. It's a bit unusual. I don't really know what else to say. You can browse by category, browse by country, browse by topic or year. Let's see what was going on in 2017, shall we? These are all of the different companies that changed their logos in 2017. I mean, there's so many of them. What about Ubisoft? What did they used to be? Again, yeah, it's minimalized, it's simplified. But yeah, that is Logopedia. So this one's a little bit more touchy, perhaps. This is the Religion Wiki. Again, I do try to not talk about religion or politics on my channel, but this kind of stuff does happen. We've got 33,000 pages up there. We've got all the different major religions over there. We've got some sort of words for peace over there. 292,000 edits, which is incredible. That's so many. And you can kind of split things up by different religions. You know, you've got the religion portals: Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, the Baha'i faith, and Scientology. So let's just click on Scientology, for example, and look at all this stuff here. It's got mountains. Actually, I shouldn't touch Scientology. I mean, look at the Bulgarian saints. Who we got here? Naum of Preslav. And you can kind of see he was flourished during the reign of Michael, the King of Romans, son of Theophilus in the Ironclast. It is a bit strange that religion has Wiki, but it's interesting to see that there are people out there who are invested enough to put it on Wiki instead of just having it in books. Maybe this is the future of religion, I don't know, but it's definitely accessible now more than ever. We can kind of see religions and beliefs that aren't our own. I think I've only ever met one Buddhist in my life, but now I can look at Mahayana Buddhism and just see all of this interesting stuff. Like, I don't even know what any of this stuff says, but it's available to me. So it's an interesting idea. This next one is really, really cool. I do like this next entry on the iceberg. This is Rational Wiki, and what this does is it tries to debunk misinformation or pseudoscience wherever it stands. So it has 4 purposes: analysing and refuting pseudoscience and the anti-science movement, documenting the full range of crank ideas, exploration of authoritarianism and fundamentalism, and analysis and criticism of how these subjects are handled in the media. And so you can kind of go through all of this stuff, whether it be science, logic, atheism, creationism, pseudoscience, conspiracy, denialism, paranormal activity, or politics, and you can just see what there is. Like the argument that science was wrong before. You can use this to try and state that science was wrong before, it's wrong now, and it'll be wrong in the future. And whilst this might be true, it's not the entire truth, is it? Because science has been right before as well. What is appeal to a celebrity? Yeah, this is a very good one. This is a good one on Rational Wiki. An appeal to a celebrity is a fallacy that occurs when a source is claimed to be authoritative because of their popularity. It is the bastard child of an appeal to authority and an argumentatum ad populum. The appeal to celebrity is especially common towards advertising. So you put your celebrity in an advert because they can't be wrong. They're a celebrity, they're well liked, they're popular. But actually celebrities are wrong, and they're wrong all the time. Popularity is irrelevant to truth. The only minor exception occurs when the cited celebrity is popular because of their expertise in that field. So if you want to make an argument, look at this site first and see if it's been made before, and if it has been, does it work? Because most of the time, most of the arguments that we get ourselves in, most of the corners that we find ourselves fighting out of are debunkable. I would definitely say if you like to debate, definitely do look at this one, because it will go through some of the most common methods of argument and completely tear them apart. The Slenderman Wiki. This used to be popular a very long time ago, and to be honest, it's way more popular now than it has any right to be. Slenderman was extremely popular back in like 2013, 2014, the early 2010s at the very least, but it still does have its major fan that will never ever betray the Slenderman. To me, this is just weird because of how much stuff there is on a single video game. I swear that Slenderman was just a video game originally, and then it turned into this entire lore and a creepypasta because of that. But the fact that this site is still around after God knows how many years, the staying power of the Slenderman should not be underestimated. I don't have much more to say on that, so let's move on. To be fair though, speaking of creepypasta, the next one we have is the Creepypasta Wiki, which I have had the pleasure of divulging myself in. If you know me, I don't believe in any creepypastas whatsoever, but there is a lot of stuff here. In fairness, this could be further up in the iceberg. I know a lot of people that use this, but maybe that's just the field that I'm in. I'm kind of into the disturbing stuff on YouTube. It has Pasta of the Month. Who's the current Pasta of the Month? Poppies and Daffodils. I always thought that pastas are really bad. Like, creepypasta does not work as a word either. Like, why pasta? Anyway, it's got all of these genres, it's got the authors, it's got the writers' showcases, the popular stories, and it's got all of these different stories for you to look at. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I have spoken about creepypasta in the past, but it's there if you want to check it out. Oh no! No! Alright, let's get this next one over with.
Wiki Fur.
By the way, my name is FoxAkimbo, but I'm not a furry, okay? Let's get that right. Wiki Fur is a Wikipedia that details it details furry conventions and when they're happening. So we can see here the next furry convention in the UK is December 11th. So let me know down in the comments, should I crash that? Just for the content, of course. And it details stuff all the way to 2023. This is 2 years away. Who's already thinking of going to, you know, furry convention in Colorado in 2023, August 2023? Apart from that, there's a couple other links that might lead you to furry articles and furry pages, but to be honest, I don't know, man. To be honest, that's not what I'm paid here to do. I'm here to cover Wiki Fur, and that's what it is. It just kind of details when all of these conventions are happening. So let's look at Mid-Fur West. Oh my god, it's way more advanced than I ever thought it would. I mean, look at the amount of stuff here. It's got visitor statistics. It's on the rise. Look at that. From 473 in 2000 to 10,000 now. To be fair to them, they are earning a lot of money for charity. Back in 2019, they earned $112,000. So, you know, that's fair to them. Does every single furry convention do charity? No, this one doesn't. This is the next UK one. Let's move on. We're moving on now. Things are definitely strange now. We have CWC Wiki, which is the Chris Chan Wiki. Now, I'm not going to stay on this one for too long because, to be honest, I don't know nearly enough about Chris Chan to say anything. I know that a lot of people hate them, and I also know that Chris Chan is one of the most well-documented people on the internet, but there's so much there that I just can't be bothered to look into Chris Chan. Chris Chan themselves could be an entire iceberg. So Chris Chan has been in custody for 116 days, and it's been 2 days since Chris Chan claimed to be Jesus. And it's been 2 days since Chris Chan has begged for money. Let's see what else we have here. Did you know that in Christmas 2004, Chris asked Santa for a girlfriend? I did not know that. Chris believes himself to be a descendant of Anne Boleyn, the Queen of England. I did not know that either. I mean, I didn't know anything about this. It's got a video of the now, it's got a picture of the now, it's got all of this stuff. What happened this day in Chris history? On this day in 2008, Panda Halo received some lecherous messages from Chris. She will post this on #Sonichu the following day. It's crazy to me how a single person has lived a life where they can have 2,225 articles on one single person. It's insane. Again though, I don't know anything about Chris Chan, so I'm just gonna move on. The Trevor Henderson Wiki now, that is the next entry on this iceberg, and I had no clue who Trevor Henderson was. Again, very strange, very niche, very unusual, until I saw this. I hate to go back because I promised that one of the videos in the past would have been the last time I talk about them. Trevor Henderson does cryptids, and these aren't cryptids that pretend to be real, these are all fake, but these are cool designs. Look at that cartoon cat. That is just cool. Straight up, that is a cool cryptid. What about Siren Head? I definitely would. Just putting it out there, I would. Like, this stuff is just really cool. It's a cryptid wiki based on the work of Trevor Henderson. Aside from that, I don't have too much to say. Again, I wasn't familiar with his work until very recently, but this stuff is all so cool. And if you're into dark art, I would definitely recommend checking this out because there is so much interesting, cool little art here that is, I mean, what is that thing meant to be? Void Nugget. It's crazy. This one is going to be cringe. It is the Meme Wiki. And I'm not going to have too many words to say because this is just cringe. It's got all of the old school memes, it's got all of the new memes. I mean, how long can I talk about memes for? All day if I wanted to. What's your favourite meme actually? I want to know, what is everyone's favourite meme? Let me know down below. I liked Ultra Instinct Shaggy, and I also like the meme calendars. I like those ones quite a bit. And yeah, it divides things up by gaming memes, funny characters, rage comics, and all memes. Apart from that, I don't really have too much to say. Any meme that you could ever think of, it's here. Behind the Meme should have just done his research on the Meme Wiki because probably would have been better than Know Your Meme, but whatever. This next one is really practical, and you guys might not have heard it because I know I haven't. There is a cooking wiki. It is, I think it's Recipes Wiki, so definitely do check this one out because it's got everything you could ever want. It is here. If you ever want to find out how to make anything, it will be on this wiki. It's got 42,978 pages, basically 43,000, and they're all on recipes. So if you look here, we have appetizers, main dishes, sides, desserts, beverages, and by ingredients. So let's look at main dishes. Even within that, you have healthy dishes, vegetarians, meat, seafood, pasta, poultry, and vegan. So let's look at meat, for example, right? You have everything from adong bong kakong to zucchini beef casserole. Let's go to green chili stew, right? You want to look how to make a green chili stew. You know, it gives you the history, it gives you the ingredients, and it gives you the directions, and it's actually really simple. Definitely check it out. I was going to do an entry on Country Humans, but unfortunately, I believe that the site has been taken down, and on top of that, Country Humans I've covered before in my controversial art video. Basically, they are personified versions of countries, and people thought they might have been a bit racist, based on stereotypes, which could be true. I don't really know. I think the British one's quite nice. I think the British one's just a guy with a top hat and stuff, and he likes drinking tea, which is 98% of the population, I think. So instead of that, we're going to move on to probably my favorite entry of them all, Encyclopedia Dramatica. So Encyclopedia Dramatica is really, really funny. So it takes everything and it blows it out of proportion. Even the most minute ideas go from a 2 to an 11. For example, this is the Great Meme War. What is the Great Meme War, I hear you ask? Well, it's the idea that back in 2015 to 2016, elections were won by memes. Apparently, Donald Trump and Nigel Farage memed way better than anyone else. They memed better than Remain, and they memed better than Hillary Clinton, and that won them their elections. So kind of like if you ever research history and stuff, you might get battles. It's got like who was on which team, the commanders and whatnot. It's got the location, the internet, particularly social media, the result. It's got notable moments, the fall of Bush, the Pepe Civil War, the British Front, aka the Battle of Brexit, the Battle of God Emperor Trump, the first battle of the presidential debate, the aftermath, the reactions, and all that good stuff. But before we continue to honour all of those who served in the Great Meme War 2015 to 2016, we salute you. Anyway, so back to it. So we have the major battles, we have the meme war units, and we have so much more. This is one article of, oh, look at that. Thank you for your service. I don't even know what this is doing. This is like Trump with some sort of weird Pepe. And as I said before, it just blows things up out of proportion. So of course, as we know, it wasn't that. It wasn't this great battle online. But Encyclopedia Dramatica makes it seem that way. Olympics Wiki, easy one. That's just an Olympics Wiki. If you were in there, it'll have a little profile on you. If you won something, then it'll have a little profile on you. Simple stuff. Crappy Games Wiki. This is the next entry on our iceberg, and one that I want to go into a little bit more because old fans of the channel will know that I do quite like crappy games. This is one of the only wikis that isn't on fandom. It's actually on Mirahise or Mirahise or something, and it's also not exclusive to random low budget games. If you can see here, there are quite a few games that are high budget, specifically Cyberpunk. That caught my eye straight away. So if we look at that, it kind of gives you a little rundown of what was happening. Like here we have the bad qualities, and it's got 24 bad qualities, and then it's also got a couple good qualities as well. I think if you're going to rag on something for being bad, you also have to take the good with it too. But of course, there's a lot less good qualities than bad qualities. It's got all the videos on it, and yeah, I mean, that is just the Crappy Games Wiki. You can see all of the crappiest games of all time right at your fingertips. On to the next tier now, and things are going to get even more controversial and even more weird. So let's start off with a banger, Conservapedia. This is gonna probably annoy quite a few people. So Conservapedia is where a lot of people might get their facts from, and it is inherently biased towards conservative views and values. Let's just take a random article from Conservapedia and we will be able to judge just how biased it is based on that. So I have chosen Hollywood values, and oh my god, it's worse than I thought. This next one is probably going to be the thing that gets this video demonetized. I'm going to have to blur a lot of this. It is Wiki Feet. This is definitely some fetish stuff, and it is this wiki that is dedicated to pictures of female celebrities' feet. For obvious reasons, I won't be going through this in detail, but it's got a little happy birthday section, and there's pictures of their feet to celebrate. That's probably the worst birthday present someone could get, and I really don't want to stay on this one for long, but again, strange, unusual, all that kind of stuff, and it is a wiki technically. It's called Wiki Feet. Here's something strange though. I have an idea regarding the EU Copyright Act. This was like, I read this and I was like, what the hell? We are a large community with a common interest. Together, we have the power to help our brothers from the EU get their daily dose of foot candy. Oh, God. Daily dose of foot candy. Oh, God. That's just cringeworthy, man. On to the next one. So this is actually quite a meta entry. It is the Wiki Wiki. Yeah, so this is the Wiki Wiki, and it is a wiki literally about wikis. So there's 575 articles, and it just goes through all of the wikis that there are. This is probably how the creator of this iceberg sent me Dea. Shout out to you. This is potentially how that person found all of these wikis for the iceberg. I mean, what's there, 500 here? It's incredible. But yeah, Wiki Wiki, a wiki about wikis. I said wiki way too much in this video. I'm gonna move on. Here's something obscure, right? The GTA Myths Wiki. This is a wiki dedicated to not even just GTA, but entirely about GTA myths, which has to be so niche, it's unreal. The GTA Wiki is about the beasts, monsters, and rumors and bizarre things that are believed to exist in the Grand Theft Auto series. It may contain Easter eggs from the GTA series. It's not like there's Bigfoot hanging around in GTA, is there? Like, there has to only be a certain amount of things that are programmed into the game, but people on the GTA Wiki don't care. This is all about the Easter eggs and the myths, the rumors, the urban legends about the games. And yeah, it's got all of these myths, glitches, and Easter eggs. I mean, all of this stuff. I mean, there's so much stuff here. It's unbelievable. There's so much in these games. It is incredible. Out of all of the entries on this list, this next one has the most potential. It's incredible how much potential this has, because this could be seriously like a big thing in the future. This is Familypedia, and what this is that you take your relatives, and after they've passed, you add them into this big catalogue, and we can start to piece together people's interactions and reactions with each other better than ever before. A lot of people on this site wouldn't have been alive when the internet was around, and now their entire history is up on there. Maybe that might be morally grey, maybe they wouldn't want to be up there in the first place because they didn't know about the internet, but I think it's an interesting way to try and remember people. I think if us as collectives put all that we knew together, it's only going to help advance the human race, and this is just a way that we can kind of place people better than just he lived here, she lived there, they lived there at the same time. Let's just take a random person that was married on this day. Let's take Jonathan Armory, and it will tell you everything you need to know about this random person that lived in the 1700s. From the United States, Ireland, UK, from 1770. He was born on the 7th. You can see the latitude of the earth, the longitude of his birth. You can see, you know, the day he died, his father, who he married, his sex, and this is just public knowledge now. He will forever be on this website. Us growing up right now might be the first generation to be very well documented, right? Our parents would have been quite well documented, but even then you might lose a couple pictures from when they were kids. Those are only pictures as well. We don't really have many videos except for home movies. Our generation growing up now are the first ones to grow up with social media. Probably in generations' time, people will be looking back on us, potentially. I mean, who knows if they care? And they'll be able to see us grow up, not knowing the dangers of the internet, that a couple hundred years' time, the repercussions of our actions now will be revealed then. So I don't know, that's just something I think about. It's a very interesting site. This next one is really, really weird, but it's kind of cool to see. It is Fictional Companies Wiki. So for some reason, I don't know who has the time of day to do this, someone looked at all of the fake companies and TV shows, movies, video games, and they compiled them into one wiki. So we can see McDonald's, Athlete from The Office, Big Kahuna from Pulp Fiction, Vault-Tec from Fallout as well. And it's just interesting to me that someone thought to do this. I mean, there's not really too much to say. It's just fake companies from TV shows and movies, but it's so out there and so like, why would you do this, that I have to give props. It's just fascinating that people care enough to do this. The Phobias Wiki. This is one that I have also had the pleasure of coming across in a previous video. It was my Fears and Phobias video from way back when. Let's just get it out of the way. There is some weird stuff on this wiki. Anything in the world is on here. Anything. Fear of water bottles, fear of microphones, fear of missing out on this week's Throwback Thursday. Literally is a phobia. Watch that video if you haven't already. It's one of my better early ones. I've recently changed pages. Biphobia, lesbophobia, Fortnite phobia. How can you be afraid of Fortnite? What is this? I think my mum has Fortnite phobia. Yeah, she probably does. It's got 4,300 pages. Gashophobia is the fear of the gacha games. Like, what is this? What is this? I don't know, but there are so many fears and phobias here. If you ever had one or ever thought you might have one, I would say check it out because it's an interesting website full of very scared people. I'm really disappointed in this one because I thought it was way better than it was. I read Gugology as Guyology, and I thought it was this entire wiki about the bro code and unwritten rules for men and stuff, and I was about to kind of get in there but no, it's Gugology, which it's a wiki of numbers. It's just a billion, a trillion, a million. 10. That is literally, it's very niche, very obscure, but that is it. And we're going to move on to the Aesthetics Wiki, which, if you can guess, is a wiki about aesthetics. For a while now, I've wanted to make an aesthetics video, but they don't really seem to get the same response as some other ones do, at least in the polls, so I haven't yet, but all of the aesthetics here are kind of cool. You can sort by suffix, so here I've got the core suffix, so I can go to like, I don't know, bastard core and find out if I wanted to look like that, what would it be? And it's, yeah, I mean, related aesthetics, crackhead scrapper. What about that? The scrapper aesthetic. Oh, yeah. I want to know, what's your aesthetic? I don't really think I have one. I think in the modern day, aesthetics tend to be a bit loosey-goosey, and most people kind of take a bit of this, take a bit of that, take a bit of the other. I would say if I was to define myself by an aesthetic, as a teenager, I had the rocker aesthetic a lot. I used to wear a lot of leather jackets, plain white tees, plain black tees, and jeans. I thought that was a really good look. I still do. The leather jacket look is just awesome. I love it. These days, I'm wearing a lot more overcoats and jumper combos, I would say, now that I've gotten a bit older. And I just look like a professor at this point. I look like a university professor. I've always liked the teddy boy aesthetic as well, but that one's a bit harder to pull off because it's just quite formal. And if you're going out in public and stuff with a suit and tie when you don't need to, you're going to get a bit of a strange look. But I guess that's what aesthetics are for, really. Just in M, we have Macacute, Mad Scientist, Midwest Emo, Milk aesthetic. I mean, there's so many aesthetics. It's mushroom core. What is that? If you're ever looking to get into a new aesthetic, I definitely recommend this. It's niche, it's obscure, it's strange, but it's cool. Next up, we have Anime Bath Wiki. No! Oh no. This is a bad one, guys. So this is the Anime Bath Scene Wiki, and it is a massive database online of every single anime bath scene ever put to air. Some people have way too much time on their hands. Note, this is not a pornographic site, even though there may be suggestive content. It's not the main focus or intent, and is strictly for educational purposes. What education? It's clearly a pornographic site, or at least the site enables itself for that purpose. It's got an entire list of bathing scenes from today. It's got pictures, it's got associated sites over here. It only has one person. There's only one person moderating this. Did one person put all of this up? That is crazy. You can divide it by male or female. You've got series, manga, films, video games, the glossary, magazines, studios. I mean, it's incredibly detailed. You can go by bathing method: blood bath, sitz bath, steamy bath, off-screen bathing. You can go by facilities as well: astral ocean, public bath, shower room, spa, western bathroom. The accessories as well, you can go by bath bucket, bath tray, bubble wand. I'm bewildered. I'm actually lost for words for this entry. I don't know what else to say, so we're just going to move on to the next entry. So the next entry is fake countries. So, you know, Torred, Finland, all of those countries, all the fake ones. It baffles me why someone would do this, but it's just really cool. So what do we have here? Country of the month: Freyand, Britannica and Nirvana, Hong Kong Emporium, and Daleswar. 992 articles, 15,000 edits means that there are more fake countries on this fandom than there are in real life. Obviously, we have the most visited, so Torred, as I said before, the Flopaland region, Koshach, and in Europe we have Woodbank, Nordican, the Empire of Cervadoria. In North and South America we have the Cat Kingdom, of course, Animal Land, Federal Republic of Sean. I want to see what's going on there. So yeah, this is the Federal Republic of Sean, 200 million population. Do we have anything? A wiki for a country about Sean. I mean, wait, there's a Sean wiki? No! This thing goes deeper than ever imagined before. There's no way. I've actually discovered a rabbit hole in and of itself. Sean. List of prime ministers. It's its own thing. This is incredible. Either way, if you were ever interested in fake places, I guess, the fake countries wiki is right there. And as you've just seen, it's so easy to fall into these rabbit holes online. I would actually recommend checking it out because it's just a cool little concept. Okay then, apologies because my light has just died, but we're going to carry on and we're in the lowest tier now. So we have Godmodes Wiki. So this wiki seems to just be like a power scaling thing. It's kind of a versus who would win sort of situation, I think. And it takes all of the most powerful characters of all time, for example, Bully Maguire, and I don't really know what it's meant to be doing with him, just making him even more powerful than ever before. What's his true form? Bully Maguire with the Infinity Gauntlet, great. So just look at the tiering system. There's so many tiers to this. It is unbelievable. It seems like there is a lot more effort put into this than needs be. Like, this doesn't seem to be something that needs all of this tiering. So that's really that. I don't have too much more to say on that front. On to the next one, which is Unspongebob Wiki. This wiki is meant to be not SpongeBob. Again, I don't know who has the time of the day to do this. It's like Uncyclopedia, except for SpongeBob, which is really, 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 really niche. I don't know who's making fake SpongeBob information, but everything here is wrong. So you have like characters, for example, Springbob Squirepin, Pat Back, Squidward Tortellini, Mr. Craps, and still Sandy Cheeks, except it's a picture of a squirrel. So it says here that Sandy is friends with benefits with SpongeBob and is a rejected member of Alvin and the Chipmunks. She has a gun and isn't afraid to use it. So all of these characters and every single thing on this wiki is wrong. SpongeBob Squarepin, I mean, as we know, his name's SpongeBob. Check it out if you want. And speaking of SpongeBob, my final entry is Squidwards Suicide, which is maybe a bit dark, but it's also quite niche, quite obscure. It's one creepypasta that's been expanded into an entire wiki. I've spoken about Squidwards Suicide before in a previous video. I can't remember which one though, but yeah, it's got all the red mist, Squidward Suicide, Suicide Squidward, the 2000 unmarked tapes. I think the actual event itself, Squidward Suicide, is fake. I think most people do too, but yeah, SquidwardSuicideFandom.com is literally an entire wiki dedicated to the thing, and it does get quite a few comments, so I don't really think I have much more to say about this one. As we kind of got down, things got so obscure that I just couldn't really speak about them at length. But anyway, that is it. Thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please do subscribe. I'm doing £5 for Movember for every 1,000 subscribers I get, and I'm doing £10 until the end of the year for Team C's. I just hit my first 1,000 the other day, so I will be donating £5 to Movember and £10 to Team C's, but the Team C's ones is going to be going on for a while longer. I have a Discord, which you can join. I have a Twitter, and I have an Instagram that you could follow, and I have a Patreon, which you could support. Any of those, if you want to join, follow, support, it would be amazing. Speaking of my patrons, thank you very much to them. They're on your screen now, and thank you to Semideus for creating this iceberg. If you want to watch any of my other videos, you can find them right here. And apart from that, please let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see me do next, because I'm only 85 videos in and I'm already out of ideas. Thank you for watching.